Brendan, you just kicked off the soccer season, and maybe I thought you could just kind of explain to us what a big undertaking that is.
Yeah, right now we've got about 1,200 kids playing this spring, and it kicked off this past weekend. But to lead into the season, we have about 250 volunteer coaches. So the club is almost entirely volunteer-based. We have, I'm a full-time person, but I'm the only full-time person in Lexington United Soccer Club. But so it takes about a month and a half to get everything prepared with the fields, with the coaches, and trying to get curriculum set. So it's quite an undertaking.
Big undertaking. So you said 1,200 children are playing. What ages does that span?
In the spring, it goes kindergarten through U18.
Okay.
In the fall, we have about 1,350 kids playing, which is actually, we did a sort of a poll, is in the fall, 1/3 of Lexington kids from kindergarten through 8th grade are part of the club. So it's a big responsibility on our part, I think, to provide a quality product, because we influence 1/3 of the children in Lexington. So it's a big club.
Yeah. So my son, I should tell you, is in kindergarten. So we do the 8:30 a.m. soccer program, and then my daughter's in 3rd grade, and we are in the travel soccer. So we understand what a big undertaking it is, and it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So thank you. So outside of the league play, what are some other programs that the Lexington United Soccer Club offers?
Well, we try. It's become a bit of a year-round program. And through the winter, we just finished sort of a street soccer program where every Sunday kids would just show up, and we'd run supervised pickup for the kids and let them play, right?
And that was at the field house.
That was
right?
at the field house, and then we also had about another 100 kids that played winter skills clinics, where I actually, myself and some other professional coaches will work with the kids directly, sort of a 1-to-10 ratio, and we had 100 kids do that, and we did that at Lexington Christian Academy this winter, which was fantastic. Next week we have our April vacation clinic, which is usually about 100 kids participate in that each year, and then we have a July program and a Thursday skills clinic for, in the K through 2nd grade program. It's a once-a-week program, as you know, so some people that are looking for a little additional soccer over the season is we offer a Thursday program in the afternoon, since the elementary schools have a half day, so I'll work directly with the kids at that. And then, the last program that we'll be doing is it will start the first Saturday in May as the TOPS program.
Okay, and can you tell us a little bit more about what the TOPS program is?
Yeah, we started the TOPS program about 2.5 years ago now, and it's really sort of completed the club. It's a program, it's called the Outreach Program for Soccer. And what it is it's a program for kids with special needs. And so when the K through 2nd grade program concludes at noon, from 12:30 to 2, we have kids that have special needs will come down and get a chance to participate in soccer. And really where this has actually become a really great way for a lot of the high school kids to do community service and give back to the town, because we need a 1-to-1 volunteer ratio to player. So, we end up having usually about, 35 kids in Lexington working directly with the kids that have special needs. So
what a great opportunity.
It's been a great program.
And for people that would like to get more information about volunteering on something like that, where can they go?
Yeah, everything can be directed right on the LexingtonUnited.org website, and so if you go to the contacts page, we have a TOPS contact there, and registration's up for the program. So it's been a really rewarding part of the club, I think.
Definitely. What does TOPS stand for?
The Outreach Program for Soccer.
Okay. Great. Now, I know you referenced the website, and I know the Lexington United Soccer has recently updated like a new kind of area for the coaches to go to with tips, and I know you have some great videos on there showing different basic moves, and also some drills that I went on thought they were very helpful. Can you talk to us a little bit about that?
Yeah, this past year we switched over the website, and we created a whole new coaches page, and right now we have about 150 exercises, 2 coaching videos. I've started a blog to sort of answer questions for coaches, and one of the reasons why we wanted to create the site was I view my job as to being a resource to the coaches in the town, because I think the more that I can provide them to run a quality practice, the more it's going to translate into the kids enjoying soccer in the community. And and one of the things that we're trying to do too is really preach age appropriate exercises, whereas in 8th grade you know, they shouldn't be trying to do the same thing that you'd be doing in 8th grade that in 3rd grade, right? You know, there's a progression in a curriculum that builds up so that the kids have age-appropriate training. And I think the website sort of helps guide people to what makes sense and what doesn't make sense.
And it's very user-friendly, I'd say. And I thought what was helpful is not only just the drills that you have that are, as you said, very age-appropriate, it's clearly described, is then you actually showing like basic moves, little clips, and I thought those were really helpful.
Yeah, we're fortunate is, you know, we have tremendous volunteers in the club, and the vice president at the time, who later served as president, and he's now still a board member, Tim Carruthers, and I
who is my neighbor, so
went
I need to
out
tell you that.
and you know, shot a couple videos, because I think that the one thing that, you know, the volunteer coaches sometimes feel limited in is being able to actually show proper techniques of things. And I think we have a great volunteer coaching base, but I think sometimes being able to paint the picture for the kids, you know, steering them to the website, and now the website has a feature where people can create their own team page and put the video up there. So it's, you know, it's been great to be able to do the videos. Hopefully we'll be able to do a few more in the future.
Definitely. Well, congratulations on that. So it's really great, and it's wonderful, like added aspect to have for coaches, and like you said, even for the kids to go on and watch.
Yeah.
So we've talked a little about coaches and the children. What is the number one thing that you preach to coaches when you're getting them ready for a season? What would you like to, you know, come across?
Yeah, I think that the number one thing, and I try to do this at every coach's meeting before the season start, is to have perspective, right? The game's supposed to be about the kids. And I think that sometimes on a Saturday afternoon, you know, everyone gets excited, you know, it's fun to compete, and they should want to win the game, right? And that's a natural tendency. But I think that having perspective of why you're playing the game, and to make sure you treat all the kids fairly, you know, because I think just because a player at 9 years old might be a little bit more athletic or a little bit more physically advanced, is that doesn't mean in 2 years that the kid that maybe was a little smaller or a little bit you know, less inclined to go out and practice won't be the best player down the road. So I think you want every kid to have a great experience, and you know, I think the more that the coaches have perspective of what youth sports are all about, the better, you know, the whole experience will be for not only Lusk but also the Lexington community.
That sounds good. I know you had also said player development and coach development equals player enjoyment. So it's more to kind of what you're talking about.
Yeah, I think that, you know, to me, is one of the things that I try to do is provide structure to practice, because I think it's fun to get better. Right, is I think that sometimes there's this illusion where, you know, the kids just want to play, right? I think that the kids want to play, and they want to play well. And, you know, if I can do things at 9 and 10-year-olds with the kid where they're learning to do things and they're enjoying it through structured activities, now at 13 and 14 they'll have a skill base where they'll still enjoy the game. Whereas if we just have unstructured things all the time, you know, I don't think that they're really developing. So I'm trying to get the coaches and the players to develop so that everybody enjoys it more.
Okay. And so that's a good tip. So development, but also keeping perspective.
Yes.
I know sometimes in communities like Lexington, it's, you know, we get so caught up. So that's, I think, something really to remember is always to keep perspective, you know, whether it's in school or on the field. So, thank you so much for coming on, Brendan. This has been really, really helpful. And if people have more questions, they can go to the website address.
Yeah, it's lexingtonunited.org, and you know, there's lots of material there. There's contacts page, there's the coach's site is on there. So any questions or anything that they need to steer to, always have our new announcements up on there too. So,
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.